I knew something was hunting me. That day in the wilderness taught me one of the most important lessons of my life. That is, how to tell the difference between intuition and fear. And when you get this, it changes everything. Because when you are following your intuition instead of fear, you are moving from your true self. And the truth is, your intuition is always speaking to you. The challenge isn't whether it's guiding you or whether you're an intuitive person. It's whether you're willing to listen to it. And more importantly, being able to discern your true inner knowing from the voices of fear. So in this video, we're going to unpack how to tell the difference between intuition and fear, and how to stop second guessing yourself so you can finally trust and follow your inner guidance. For over a decade, I've helped thousands of visionary leaders and change makers rewire their nervous systems to be able to trust their intuition and expand their capacity to hold the full magnitude of the big missions that they are here to carry forward. And I've learned that the best and fastest way to reclaim your power is to know moment to moment which voice you are listening to. And if you truly want to understand what I mean, let me tell you about an afternoon in Yosemite that changed my life. She was hunting me. And my mind couldn't even comprehend what my body knew. I was on a quiet trail, hundreds of feet above the beautiful Yosemite Valley. My hiking partner had gone ahead, so that day I was going to sit and meditate and have my lunch with this stunning view of the valley below. But I couldn't settle in. And as I was sitting there, I felt the hair on the back of my neck stand up. And I could feel eyes on me, but when I would turn around, there was nothing there. So at first I kind of dismissed it, like, oh, this must just be fear. My mind must be playing tricks on me because, being alone in the wilderness can do that. But then I had actual alarm bells go off, not in my head, not as thoughts, but in my body. And it wasn't a feeling of fear. It was more this feeling of pure presence. It was like this sudden awareness of my environment and everything, the temperature of the air, the sounds. It was this pure presence and aliveness. And my body knew something that my eyes hadn't been able to see. And then the birds confirmed it. Suddenly, their peaceful songs shifted, and it's like I could hear them saying, "Predator lurking." So I grabbed a rock and a stick, and I made myself big and loud, and I let her know, even though I couldn't see her yet, I let her know that this snack was not going to go down without a fight. And that's when I saw the queen of the mountain, my mountain lion teacher, casually walking away. And in that moment, I felt us bow in mutual respect to each other, even though I'll admit I was definitely more shaken than she appeared to be. That encounter taught me one of the most important lessons of my life, and that is the difference between intuition and fear. And it's a lesson that doesn't just apply in the wilderness, though it came in pretty handy there, but in every single decision that you make in your business, your relationships, your health. Because for most of us, we've not only been cut off from our intuition, but we have been systematically programmed into fear. Fear that if you make the wrong decision, it will be the end of you. That if you make the wrong decision, your business will fail, your loved ones will leave you. So you stay paralyzed and you overanalyze, or you wait for signs, wait for someone or something to tell you what the right move is. But imagine if I had hesitated on the mountain that day. If I had let fear lead me and I had questioned myself, or if I was like, okay, God, please send me a sign. No, not the hair standing up on the back of my neck. No, not the birds telling me something is off here. I need clearer signs. Please tell me. What do I do here? And this is what you do when you don't trust yourself. You think about what others are going to think. You think about, what if I make the wrong move? What if I got the signs wrong? So here's how you're going to start to tell the difference between intuition and fear. First of all, fear is very driven by the mind. It's usually very noisy and frantic and overwhelming. So if you're hearing stories in your mind, if there's a battle happening, that's fear. And fear is what causes you to doubt yourself. And you'll find yourself doubting every angle. This is how you know you're in fear, when you're in this spiral of doubt. If I go this way, this bad thing will happen. If I go the other way, this bad thing will happen. And it keeps you in this analytical overthinking rather than moving toward a decision. And some people think that we need fear in order to survive. It's actually not true. You need access to your intuition. We could call it intuition and or instinct, like what I experienced on the mountain that day. If I had been in fear, if I had been in my mind, if I had let my mind spin stories, I might have overridden my natural instinct to pick up that stick and that rock. I would have made myself a snack for that mountain lion if I had stayed frozen in overanalyzing, right? So it's not actually fear that keeps you alive. That is the program and that is the lie. Intuition, on the other hand, doesn't do that. Intuition helps you to stay in the present moment, and it comes from a grounded, present connection to higher intelligence, to ancient wisdom. With intuition, you don't get stuck in mental bargaining or battling, and there's no need for a big explanation about what you're intuiting. It just knows. And it often shows up as a nudge that will lead you towards your next steps. It leads us towards expansion, not spiraling in the same spot. Your intuition carries with it this feeling of rightness or what is correct for you. Meaning, when you follow your intuition, it doesn't always feel good. It feels correct. This is really important to remember. It doesn't always feel good. It feels correct. And with it, there's no judgment, there's no need for validation. It just is. So if you find yourself in a spiral of overthinking, that's fear talking. And you'll often notice, if you really tune in, fear is actually not even your own voice. You'll notice if you tune in, it's the voice of your mother or your father, or even just this collective voice of fear, because fear comes from the program, not from true wisdom, not from your inner knowing. And you'll know it's intuition when it's clean and clear of all of that noise, because this is your authentic voice. It's your true self guiding you from within. So, how do we cultivate this? How do you not only recognize that clear, clean voice of your own intuition, but also learn to trust it above and beyond the voices of fear that we've all been programmed to listen to? Well, it comes down to two things. One is reestablishing trust with your body, and the other is consistent, intentional practice to strengthen that relationship. Because for most of us, we've been subtly or not so subtly programmed to disconnect from our bodies, to be afraid of our intuition, because we were all taught to rely on external authorities and to base our decisions on so-called logic, again, the program, and to analyze everything. So we end up stuck in our heads and ignoring the incredible, deep wisdom from within. So rebuilding trust means starting to listen to the subtle cues from your body. And it's like learning a new language. The more you tune in and practice, the clearer the signals become. And the more you follow through, the more fluent you are. And what's important to note here is that in order to tune into your intuition, your nervous system needs to feel safe to slow down and tune in. So if you find yourself in a constant state of fight or flight that's been conditioned into you, that's a sign that deeper work needs to be done. This is the work that I've done with everyone from CEOs navigating million-dollar decisions to healers stepping into their visibility for the first time. I guide them to reestablish this trust with their body so they can hear their intuition and clearly act on it without staying stuck in overanalyzing and hesitation. But if your nervous system is stuck in fight or flight, this tuning in becomes almost impossible. So you have to rewire your system in order to feel that deep safety, to slow down and to listen. And that's the work that I do in my Somatic Alchemy Method, where we rewire your entire nervous system to shift from survival to sovereignty. You can see now the difference between the noisy, inauthentic voices of fear and the deep, grounded clarity of truth. So from here on out, don't let yourself agonize over what to do or get paralyzed waiting for some outside sign or authority to tell you what to do when your own inner compass is practically screaming at you about your next step. And please know that this journey of self-trust isn't about getting the right answer. It's about knowing and trusting that you have your own back no matter what happens, and that you are going to be more than okay as long as you stay true to yourself. So the measure isn't, have you gotten all the right answers? Did every decision that you made over the last 6 months or 6 years, did every decision lead to the perfect outcome? That's not the measure here. The measure is, how deeply have you been tuning in and listening and following through and really listening? Because even if you think you made the wrong decision, so we can use my mountain lion example. That day I chose to stay and have my lunch while my hiking partner hiked the rest of the mountain. I could say, well, I made a terrible decision to stay there. I should have kept going. I should have not been alone, right? It would have kept me from danger. But that moment was so incredibly important to my life. I wouldn't trade it for anything. It was literally a gift to show me that there was nothing for me to be afraid of. And so on your journey of learning to trust yourself, I invite you to look at those decisions that you've thought maybe you missed the mark or maybe it was a mistake, and actually look a little deeper and understand that when you follow your intuition, it's always correct. It's always leading you to who you really are. It's always leading you to the deeper lesson or some kind of blessing or miracle. So when we take the conditioned way of looking at this, the conditioned way of looking at things is to analyze them and to say, did we get it right or did we get it wrong? But when you come from this place of deep connection to yourself, it's not about whether or not you got it right or wrong. It's about whether or not you are continuing to follow your own inner compass. So to truly integrate this and make your intuitive voice your reliable guide, I've created a dedicated somatic practice that is focused on reestablishing that relationship and trusting your intuition. So you can jump into that video right now and start trusting your intuition and building that muscle now. And if you know that you still have deeper survival patterns that are running your decisions and you're ready to make that shift from overthinking into this embodied, unshakable self-trust, that's what we create inside of my Somatic Alchemy Method, and those details will be linked below. If this resonated with you or something clicked for you today, I would love to hear about it. Please tell me in the comments below. And of course, like and share this video with someone who needs this message today. And remember, you were born with the knowing of what is good and true and correct for you. You just have to take your power back from all the voices that you've let in over the years. So, much love. I will see you next time.